What's up, y'all? Hey, episode 97, Support Black Business TV. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2016. And there's a lot in the news right now. You got Kanye and people tripping on Kanye and Puma. You have the New Hampshire primaries. I was watching Hillary's concession speech uh, right now. I was watching that. Um, because Bernie won New Hampshire. Looks like so far we're like a 58% to 40% lead. Um, I'm not even talking about and my bias here, whichever one. I'm starting to find out more about Bernie, and the more I research Bernie, the more I like. And I'm gonna be honest, I liked Hillary too. It's just that in this instance, it's like, who do you like the most, right? Obviously, I'm registered to vote in Indiana, so we don't have our primary till like April or May. So this is February, so we still got a couple months, just like it was in the presidential election, right? I didn't have to make a decision until the end, and when Hillary and Barack was balloting out in what was that, '07 or whatever. Um, we didn't have to make a decision to the end, and a lot of people got on my case because I actually was rocking with Hillary versus Barack in the primaries. Obviously, general was a little bit different, and I don't really like to get into politics per se, but one of the things that I look at is who's going to resonate, and I don't vote for me per se. I vote for my 15-year-old daughter, and and which candidate I feel is going to move this, move the United States in a direction that's going to be better for her because she can't vote. I'm her, me as a dad and her mom. We are, we are, the ones that make the major decisions for her. So we're voting. That's who I vote for. I vote for my daughter, my niece, and my nephew, and that's who I think about. The kids, the little leaguers, baseball kids that I coach, and things like that. That's who I vote for. The ones who can't vote. I can't vote for my next door neighbor who can actually go to the polls and vote. Can't vote for them. You know, if I was married, can't vote for my wife or my sister or brother or whatever, unless they couldn't vote. You know, but they have the opportunity. They can vote, obviously, who they want to vote for. And we had these spirited debates even back when Barack and Hillary, and they were all, rocking with Barack. And, I was the lone wolf, and I was rocking with Hillary. Now, when the primaries came around, yeah, it was a different story. I thought that Barack had a better platform than John McCain. And like I said, in the primaries, I thought that Hillary had a better plan than Barack Obama. Plus, I had a thought process, and I explained this a couple of times to a few people. And it wasn't strictly because he was black. It was because I thought that America would probably accept Hillary more than they would accept Barack. And I thought that if Hillary won, she could still um, come back, and she can actually make Barack her vice president. And that would give him 8 years. And then Barack could come out and run. So that would give 16 years of almost the same plan. I'm gonna catch a little bit of Bernie. You guys can hear this. Let me see here. This is his acceptance speech of coming in number one. Come on, Comcast.
you all so much. And I want to thank Julia Barnes and our great campaign staff. Together, we have sent the message that will echo from Wall Street to Washington, from Maine to California. And that is that the government of our great country belongs to all of the people and not just a handful of wealthy campaign contributors.
Come on, Comcast, act right now.
And their super PACs.
Good tricking. Comcast is getting fired. I swear they are. I wish they would.
We had no money. And tonight, with what appears to be a record-breaking voter turnout, because of a huge voter turnout, and I say huge, we won. Because we harnessed the energy and the excitement that the Democratic Party will need to succeed in November. What happened here in New Hampshire in terms of an enthusiastic and aroused electorate, people who came.
You know, it's funny. I was having a conversation with a congressman in Illinois on Twitter, and he was telling me, if you think Bernie Sanders is going to win a nomination, you got another thing coming. I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, that's why they hold these primaries in the caucuses. You know, we'll see. There was not a lot of people that gave Barack Obama a shot either. You know, here we got two front runners, you know, kind of like outside the what they call the quote unquote the establishment. And
tonight we serve notice to the political and economic establishment of this country that the American people will not continue to accept a corrupt campaign finance system that is undermining American democracy, and we will not accept a rigged economy in which ordinary Americans work longer hours for low wages, while almost all new income and wealth goes to the top 1%. I want to take this opportunity again to congratulate Secretary Clinton and her organization and supporters. I hope that in the days ahead we can continue to wage a strong, but I also
let's go, Bernie.
to gain the presidency. As we all remember, the last time Republicans occupied the White House, their trickle-down economic policies drove us into the worst economic downturn since the Depression of the 1930s. No, we will not allow huge tax breaks for billionaires. We will not allow huge cuts to Social Security, Veterans Needs, Medicare, Medicaid, and education. No, we will not allow back into the White House a political party which is so beholden.
You know, people forget how how things were when before Barack Obama got in office with George W. People forget.
The people of New Hampshire have sent a profound message to the political establishment, to the economic establishment, and by the way, to the media establishment. What the people here have said is that given the enormous crises facing our country, it is just too late for the same old establishment politics and establishment economics. The people want real change.
Yeah, I mean, change is good, right?
But the American people are saying,
come on, they making voice heard is what's happening. That's for sure. Um, no if and buts about it. I mean, like I said, the more I look at this dude, the more I see, the more I look at some of the things. He's been saying the same thing forever. The same things forever. The same things. It's not, he's not changing the story. He's saying the same things. Probably the things that people didn't listen to, but now are so crucial. And now people are trying to listen. People start getting sick and tired. Getting sick. They're getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. Is what it is. We're gonna talk about Cam in a minute. My man Cam, in the media, like I said.
More than I can express in words. By the fact that our campaign's financial support comes from more than 1 million Americans who have made more than 3.7 million individual contributions. That is more individual contributions than any candidate in the history of the United States up until this point in an election. And you know what that average contribution was? $27. Wall Street. Instead, I'm going to hold a fundraiser right here, right now, across America. request is, please go to BernieSanders.com and contribute. Please help us raise the funds we need, whether it's $10 or $20 or $50. Help us raise the money we need to take the fight to Nevada, South Carolina, and the states of Super Tuesday.
He coughed. Uh-oh. He old.
So there it is. That's our fundraiser. Pretty quick.
So what do y'all think about this Bernie Sanders person? What do you think? I mean, you know,
Said is that our great country was based on a simple principle, and that principle is fairness. Let me be very clear. It is not fair when we have more income and wealth inequality today than almost any major country on earth, and when the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. That's not fair. It is not fair when the 20 wealthiest people in this country now own more wealth than the bottom half of the American people. So you guys ready for a radical idea? Together, we are going to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the...
well, I mean,
And we are going to bring pay equity for women. And when we need the best educated workforce in the world, yes, we are going to make public colleges and universities tuition free. And for the millions of Americans struggling with horrendous levels of student debt, we are going to be financially distressed for decades for the crime of trying to get a higher education. That's absurd. Well, my critics say, you know, Bernie, that's a great idea. You're into all this free stuff. How are you going to pay for it? I will tell you how we're going to pay for it. We're going to impose a tax on Wall Street speculation. Out Wall Street, now it's... And when we talk about transforming America,
tell us, Bernie, how we gonna move forward? Transforming America. Come on now, Comcast. Don't get canceled tomorrow, Comcast. Don't let this happen to you.
We're going to fight to end institutional racism and a broken criminal justice system. We are going to provide jobs and education for our young people. people, not jails and incarceration. And let me say, that is a member of the Energy Committee in the Senate and the Environmental Committee. The debate is over. Climate change is real. It is caused by human activity, and it is already causing devastating problems in this country and around the world. We have a moral responsibility to work with countries throughout the world to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Now, I have been criticized during this campaign for many, many things. Every single...
Let's talk on it. Let's talk on it, Bernie. What you got to say, man?
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. They're throwing everything at me except the kitchen sink, and I have the feeling that kitchen sink is coming pretty soon as well. But what our campaign is about is thinking big, not small. It's about saying that a major country on earth guarantees health care to all of their people. We should be doing the same in our great country. In my view, under President Obama's leadership, the Affordable Care Act has been an important step forward. No question about it. But we can and must do better. $29 million Americans should not remain uninsured, an even greater number should not be underinsured with large deductibles and co-payments. We should not be paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs at a time, listen to this, when the top 3 drug companies in this country made $45 billion in profit last year. That is an obscenity. And let me tell you something. When we make it to the White House,
I like that positive when we. Tell them, Bernie.
when we make it to the White House, the pharmaceutical industry will not continue to rip off the American people. And further, it makes no sense that as a nation, we continue to spend far, far more per capita than do the people of any other nation, all of whom guarantee health care to all of their people. And that is why I believe in a Medicare for all single-payer program. Which will not only guarantee health care for all, but will save the average middle-class family thousands of dollars a year in health care costs. My friends, we all know that we live in a dangerous and complex world. As president, I will defend this nation, but I will do it responsibly. I voted against the war in Iraq. And that was the right vote. While we must be relentless in combating terrorists who would do us harm, we cannot and should not be the policeman of the world. Nor should we bear the burden of fighting terrorism alone. In the Middle East, the United States must be part of an international coalition sustained by nations in the region that have the means to protect themselves. Together, we must and will destroy ISIS, but we should do it in a way that does not put our young men and women in the military into perpetual warfare in the quagmire of the Middle East.
Quagmire.
My friends, we must fix our broken immigration system that divides families and create a path toward citizenship for hardworking people who are living in the jobs. We must strengthen and expand Social Security and increase the benefits that seniors and disabled vets receive so that people can live in dignity in their retirement. We must rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, and when we do that, we create millions of decent paying jobs. We must pursue the fight for women's rights, for gay rights, for disability rights. We must, against stronger and stronger opposition, protect the right of a woman to control her own body. And we must protect the men and women who serve our nation in uniform and protect our veterans who put their lives on the line to defend us. My friends, we must tell the billionaire class and the 1% that they cannot have it all. At a time of massive wealth and income inequality, the wealthiest people and largest corporations in this country will start paying their fair share of taxes. My friends, I am the son of a Polish immigrant who came to this country speaking no English and having no money. My father worked every day of his life, and he never made a whole lot. My mom and dad and brother and I grew up in a small 3.5 room rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York. My mother, who died at a young age, always dreamed of moving out of that apartment, getting a home of her own, but she never realized that dream. The truth is that neither one of my parents could ever have dreamed. That I would be here. This is the promise of America.
Come on, Bernie. Comcast. You're hating.
It is a political revolution that will bring tens of millions of our people together. It will bring together working people who have given up on the political process. It will bring together young people who have never participated in the political process. It will bring together blacks and whites, Latinos, Asian Americans, Native Americans, straight and gay, male and female, people who were born in America and people who immigrated here. We will all come together to say loudly and clearly, our great nation belongs to all of us, not just a few wealthy campaign contributors. That is what this campaign is about. That is what the political revolution is about. So, New Hampshire, thank you again. And now it's on. Thank you, New Hampshire. Now it's on to Nevada, South Carolina, and beyond.
Bernie Sanders, after a solid victory in New Hampshire, a rousing, if a bit long speech. The upside, he got uninterrupted primetime television exposure tonight. Downside, it was red. It was probably on the long side. Hillary Clinton before him. Upside went first, was able to control the message. Downside, he used a teleprompter, felt the need to tell her life story again.
You know, I would just, I could just say here just for a second, as a self-proclaimed liberal.
I'm watching this and I'm looking at this and like Bernie Sanders got more votes right now. This, with like, I don't know how much precincts have, like 41% have reported in. 40%. He got more votes in New Hampshire than the number one and the number two person in the GOP. And I'm not mentioning that dude's name no more. I call him Dumb Donald. But anyway, let's talk about the vape. Oh, so let's talk about Cam Newton. There's a lot of people who are tripping on Cam. And you know what? I'm sorry. And I've said this from the very beginning. Whoever said be a good loser had never given it all in anything in life. I run Black folk hotspots. Every day I feel like I'm in a Super Bowl because there are so many new pop-up directories and this, that, and the other, and the older ones. I put a target on the back of some people who were ahead of me when we started back in November of 2008, and since that time we've passed them as far as traffic, because traffic is everything. The more people who are seeing your product and your services, the more chances that you're going to have to sell something. And that's how a business makes money. They have to sell something. Business is not going to make money giving away stuff for free. All right. And so we create a platform where businesses can post, their events and their videos and their blogs. So for bloggers and vloggers and all of this, we create a platform so where we can help your audience. And what we like to say is our audience, your network plus our network, or your audience plus our audience equals an even larger audience for you. And that does very well. We got over 300,000 people who organically have liked or followed Black Folk Hotspots around the internet, on social media, on emails, whatever it may be. So if you got 300,000 and we got 300,000, those same 300,000 are not going to be the same people, right? So that's 600,000 for you, or up to 600,000 for you. Let's be politically correct. Um, and that's what we do. So when you post those events, so it's like having an e-blast, where you might have to go out and pay somebody $75, $100, $150, $200 for an e-blast, right? We do it for a small, low cost. People have always asked, how can you do that for $15? Because we created the system. The reason why we created the system is because nobody was doing it. Why? And it's a few people who have tried, but they realized it's a lot of work, and they don't want to work that hard for you. So every day, I'm fighting to get certain things in. I look at 12 o'clock. Last night I was playing, I was playing poker with some of my friends, and they were like, hey, I was like, hey, about 11 something. I was like, I gotta go. Why? Where you gotta go? It's almost midnight. I got to get home. I got to check the numbers. I got to do these certain things because my plan is to always win the day. And when I don't win the day, I have a set number in my head as a CEO of what we need to do, our company needs to do. The traffic, the new people, the new this. I set a plan on what we need to do. And every day we make that happen. And if we don't, I'm working later. I call it the pain versus reward system. So if I do the things every day and setting certain things, if I don't, then that means I'm working the weekends, right? If I do, then I reward myself. I'm not happy when I don't hit those goals. I might not have a press conference every day, but trust me, I'm looking down too, and I'm not feeling too good when we don't win. But anyway, on the biggest stage of his life, he's had a great season. MVP, obviously, he was, voted MVP, which means most valuable player. So all this other crap like Deion, no, most valuable person, most valuable, no, most valuable player. That means the best player on the field. Anyone else, and he got all but 2 votes from all the sports writers or whoever voted. All the voters. He doesn't like to lose, and that's what motivates him. People crack up when I say, how's Tiger Woods been since he came out of that sex therapy? Lost his edge. Same thing, Tom Brady. He's still talking about not being drafted in the until the 6th round. I'm sure people have said to him, get over that. I remember losing the state championship in Little League Baseball. I'm still pissed off at that some almost 30-something years later. I haven't forgot. Losing does not feel good. So until I get back to that spot again, and now I can't, obviously, because I can't play 11, 12-year-old all-stars, but I can coach those kids. So until I get there or beyond, then it'll probably relieve a lot of those things. And I'm sure it's the same thing with Cam. He gets pissed off himself. I'm sure he's thinking like, man, I could have done this better. Could have done this. I missed this read. I missed that. Did this, did that. We could have done this. Well, you didn't. But that just makes you now back to the film room because he's progressively gotten better every year. And people, let's not forget, their records might not have been great in the last couple years. But let's not forget, he set some rookie records. Most like yards in the season, touchdowns in the game, certain things. Draft number 1, beat Alabama, Heisman Trophy. This dude is a winner. People talk about how he's been babied and coddled all his life. He's a winner. Winners don't like to lose. They may lose graciously. They may be polished, but that's what makes Cam. Why would we want to change him? Why would we want to create him into something else? He's not out there murdering kids. He's making kids happy. He's handing them footballs. He's not doing those things. You know what? And so what? They say if some kids, may look at him and say, "Oh, this is where you want to be." No, that's not necessarily true. No, that's not necessarily true, and that's a damn lie. Because I grew up with some players who had some of the worst attitudes. You're going to change into who you are over time. He's 25 or 26 years old. Who knows what he's going to be when he's 30? Oh, who knows he's going to be next year? You don't know. I could look at, Dennis Rodman or some of these other. These basketball players didn't grow up to. They might have wanted to have the skills. They didn't, just certain attitudes, whoever it may be. T.O. or Randy Moss or Allen Iverson, people who they said, had bad attitudes. People might, try to pattern their game after their game, but that don't mean they have to take their personality because that person is that person. Anyway, y'all, Cam said it best. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I'm going to read it because he talked about it today. But he also sat down and he answered a question. It's like, how many times are they going to ask the same question over and over again? This ain't the courtroom. He ain't on trial for the rest of his life, for murder or something, crazy. He's a football player. But he, and he answered. He said, "Hey, we fumbled, the line didn't block. I missed some reads, I missed some throws. We had, basically he said that. How many different ways are you gonna ask that same question? Come on now, y'all gotta think. Quit letting these people dictate. When I remember first being when I went into financial planning, they was telling me how I needed to dress and how I needed to talk and how I needed to do everything, right? And I would, I was like, okay, well maybe they right, maybe, and then I would try that, and then it'll be no good for me, right? Sales will go down. I just didn't feel myself, and when I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna be me. Whoop, sales went right back up through the roof, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, that's like a game. You know what? Look at that. Look at the scoreboard. You trying to tell me who I need to be, but I'm always consistently on top of you. Maybe you need to be like me. And that's real talk. Baffa. Never forget. I don't forget those things. Don't forget the little things. It's like, quit trying to change people. You can guide them. You can tell them certain things, but you guys want to train people on Black Folk Hotspots. So if you're watching this, go to Black Folk Hotspots on Facebook. I had posted this thing from Cam Newton today, and what did he say? We will be back, and I mean that. We will be back, and I said it with so much emphasis. If I offended somebody, that's cool. I know who I am, and I'm not about to conform nor bend for anyone's expectations, because you or anyone else's expectations would never exceed mine. This dude's a winner. He's like, you ain't gonna keep beating me. And that's how I played as a kid. Another thing, he said, I'm on record as being a sore loser. I hate losing. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. There ain't no good losers, from Tom Brady to excuse my language, to Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit what they tell you when they get up on that podium. To Peyton Manning. They've all had their instances. Peyton Manning left without shaking Drew Brees' hand. But we didn't ask on that. Let's talk about, Isaiah Thomas and Detroit Pistons. Let's talk about the Miami Heat. Let's talk about, and they bashed Miami Heat because obviously it was LeBron, so it was the man they love to hate. But anyway, yeah, I'm about to go watch this OJ thing. Let me know what you guys think. We can argue about it all day, but you're not gonna win. I'm like Cameron. But anyway, peace out. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Go if you haven't already, create your profile if you're a business owner or shares with a business owner. Go create your profile, blackfolkhotspots.com, and create your profile so we can share your business with our network of over 300,000 people. Look in the description below and get one of our shirts or hoodies. Support Black business is what it says. That's all it says, right? Support Black business, because you know what, we like to make a statement without having to say a word. So I'm wearing this out in the streets and I'm getting thumbs up and people, coming up to me and asking me about my business, asking for a business card, this, that, and the other, supporting you. And this helps us keep our price down our costs down to our business owners and helping them get more exposure for their business. Read the description below. Share this video. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Episode 97 is in the books.